Escalations have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to Hitman 3 and the Mills Reverie Escalation. We're covering this escalation as there is a new challenge been added to it, along with a new unlockable suit. We will get to the suit momentarily, but this is a 3-level escalation. So the new challenge for this escalation, the Sandman, in which we must pacify 5 guards using the spooky bat. No bodies must be found and we must not be spotted, so essentially we have to silent assassin this. And for this we will get the Sandman suit minus the pumpkin head, which is a bit of a disappointment. So for level 1 we have to pacify Orson with the spooky bat, and we must not kill Orson. Nice and easy. So for level 1, the only item we will need to be bringing with us really will be some coins, and they are just a precautionary measure in case we need to distract one of the guards. So right from the start we are going to grab the bat rather than be off the bat and make our way into the bushes and the large tree just behind us, you can see here. And what we're going to do here is proceed to take out 5 of the guards with the spooky bat and hide their bodies in the tall grass areas. So our first one right here, very quick and very easy. There will be a lot of waiting around for this, and levels 2 and 3 we're going to follow the exact same procedure for the start as well. So once we have our first guard hidden away by the tree, we're going to make our way over to the edge of the map here, where we will find some old broken up wooden fence, and we're just going to wait right here in these bits of tall grass here, and in about a minute's time another guard will isolate himself, and all we have to do once again is throw our bat at his head. So once he makes his way past us, we can throw the bat, and that's 2 pacifications with the spooky bat. And we're just going to once again hide his body in the tall grass over here, although I don't think anyone else actually comes over here. So 2 down, 3 to go, and we haven't even started to approach Orson as yet. Now our next 3 victims here are all located roughly in the same area, or they frequent this little spot. You can just see one of the guards in the distance there. So once he's turned his back and moved away, we are going to make our way into the bushes just to his right, where you can see he is walking along away from us. You can just see the other 2 approaching the area or leaving the area. So we're going to make our way over to the bushes directly ahead of us, and this is where things will get slightly tricky, because we have 3 guards all frequenting this area at roughly the same time, but not quite. So once we're in the bushes, we're just going to wait on the right hand side of the bushes as much as you can without not concealing yourself. And our first victim will walk past us. There is one of his colleagues. So we're just going to wait for the guard to move away to the right a little bit more. And then we're going to approach our next victim and throw the bat at his head. We're then going to quickly hide his body in the grass that he is right next to, and we want to get him fairly deep into this, and I forget to drop him and almost walk back out into the open, dragging a body. Don't forget once again to retrieve your bat. At some point also you're going to want to collect up at least one of these shotguns, And once we have him safely stored away, we're going to return to the same spot we were in before, and we are going to await the arrival of the second victim, our fourth in total, and he's going to make his way right to where we just knocked out the previous guard. So again, we're just going to get behind him, throw our bat at his head, and hide his body in the bushes along with his colleague. So that just leaves us one more to get for the challenge, and the final guard in this area will be very easy. So we're going to return to the tall grasses, but this time into the patch of grass that was just in front of us for the previous two pacifications. We're going to stay on more or less the left hand side this time, and when the guard makes his way past us, we can then render him unconscious, and that will get us the challenge and unlock our nice new suit. So again, we're just going to hide his body in the tall grasses here. Now I'm going to proceed on to knock out another couple of guards who will be in our way for level 1. Then we can move on to Orson and then level 2, where things will start to escalate. So we just have this guard right here. We're just going to get rid of him so that he doesn't see anything for a while, at least until his headache wears off. Again, dragging him into the tall grasses. You may need to hide his weapon just in case anyone comes along and spots it. Don't forget once again to retrieve your bat. Your bat is your friend. So from here, we're going to now make a wide berth around to the right using the dunes for cover. And you can see that there is a closet out on the dunes, and that is essentially where we are heading for. And our next guard is just over there by the circle of weeping angels. So we're just going to give him a nice wide berth as we make our way around behind him. Now Orson and another patrolling guard also frequent this area. There is the other guard who will move away shortly. Orson has just arrived in the area. So once both of them have moved a safe distance, we're going to remove the guard guarding the stone statues. I don't know who he thinks is going to steal them. They probably weigh quite a lot. So the guard in the distance has moved away. We're just going to wait for Orson to get a safe distance, and then we're going to render our guard here unconscious. We're going to quickly retrieve his body and hide him in the bushes where we were, just by the closet. Now if you so wish and you are patient, you can wait for the returning guard to return, and he will then move away again, and Orson will make his way back over here, and he will spot that gun, and he will go and fetch the patrolling guard. But if you do not feel like waiting, wait for the patrolling guard to leave this area once again, and we're just going to place the guard's gun there, or a gun, on the floor a little bit more visibly. So we're just going to retrieve our bat once again, make our way back into the bushes, and eventually that guard will return once again, and he will spot that gun, which he has just done, and he will move to take that gun away. Now at this point, Orson should be just making his way over here. There he is. So that guard with the gun will be gone for a little while, long enough for us to render Orson unconscious with the spooky bat. So we're just going to watch the guard leave. He's going to take the gun away into the house somewhere. Orson's going to approach the weeping angels, and you can at this point get behind him and render him unconscious. I'm going to wait for him to turn around, and at any point now we can just throw our bat at his head. He will disappear, and we are free and clear to make our way to any of the closet exits. So that is level 1 complete, and that will get us 1 a silent assassin rating, and for 2 it will get us our new suit, which is a sort of leather over jacket. Like I said, it does not come with the pumpkin head, which is slightly disappointing. So there it is. And if you are only interested in the suit, you can end right now. But for the purposes of the video, we are going to move on to level 2. And level 2 will start out exactly the same as level 1, and we're going to follow the exact same procedure and route. Once we render Orson unconscious, we will get new objectives. So for level 2, in addition to our coins, which so far we have not needed, we are going to bring with us a melee item, a reusable melee item, as the spooky bat has now been moved. And I have opted to bring with me a fish, although there are plenty of meaty bones and other items on the map. So we are going to pick up level 2 when we arrive at the Weeping Angels, just to save some time. The route here is exactly the same as level 1, and this is where the changes will start to happen. So the guard is just moving away with the gun. This time we are going to render him unconscious so that he does not return to this area, as we will be. So once we have him unconscious, we're just going to make sure his body is well hidden in the tall grass. And from here we now need to acquire the spooky bat. And that is just over by the, I was about to say the dead tree, but they're all dead. But there is a large dead tree just ahead of us, and we are heading for that. And just beyond that tree, you will see, if we use instinct, there is a guard. Now this guard is static, and on the headstone just behind him is the spooky bat. So we're just going to make our way around behind him, render him unconscious. We're going to hide his body along with all of the others in the tall grass area, and then we can retrieve our spooky bat. And from here on out is where things will escalate somewhat more, as we will be getting new objectives as we progress. So once we have the spooky bat, all we have to do now is render Orson unconscious. Now I was heading back for the Weeping Angels, but I've noticed there's no real cover there, so we're going to move into the tall grass here by the gravestones, which are just to our left, and eventually Orson will come over and examine some of these graves. And when he gets to the jack-o'-lantern up in the tree, we can then render him unconscious with our spooky bat. We can leave the bat there, we don't need it anymore, as we now need to make our way into the house and up onto the roof. Now there are 2 guards up on the roof. We're going to have to get rid of both of them. There is also a guard on the first floor balcony area, and we can avoid him. So we're just going to make our way around to the rear of the property. Just by the garage door we will find a drain pipe. Once up that drain pipe, we can then duck in through the bedroom window, make our way around to the stairs to the roof, and for some inexplicable reason I've decided to close the blinds in the main area here, and this is where the patrolling guard would be patrolling around the outside there. He should be just moving away now. There he goes. So we're going to make our way up the stairs, and it's at this point I realise that I have no more melee weapons, as I've been using the bat and the fish, and I've left both behind. So what we're going to do is just wait for the two guards to convene just by the top of the stairs here. They're going to engage in a conversation. We're going to take one of the weapons we've been collecting through the level and drop it at the top of the stairs, and then get the guards' attention with a coin. And then from here I'm now going to go and find myself a melee item, and in fact I'm actually going to make my way to the panic room and retrieve the make you asleep dart gun. There we go. So in the panic room we have a nice veritable armory, but the only item we want is something non-lethal. So we're going to grab the make you go to sleep dart gun, and at this point one of the guards will be removing the weapon we've left behind down to the ground floor, and once he makes his way down the stairs we can just shoot him with our tranquilizer and then make our way up the stairs to the roof, again being aware of the patrolling guard on the first floor landing. And once you've made it past him, you can then make your way up onto the roof and eliminate the second guard, and right at the very end of the roof at the edge we will find Orson, and all we have to do now is push him off the edge. He's going to land down on the ground on a soft bed of sorts, and our next objective is to drag him to the circle of weeping angels and effectively sacrifice him. So we're just going to make our way back through the house and back down to the ground floor, and just around here we will find Orson laying on a mattress. We're going to drag his body over to the weeping angels, and once again he will disappear once within the circle of candles, and we can then exit the level and move on to level 3, and level 3 is quite a doozy. So there goes Orson. We can now make our way to the closet that we've been hiding next to for some time, and we can then exit the mission. So there we just get confirmation of all of our extra objectives. Everything has been taken care of according to plan, which will gain us the Silent Assassin rating. Now level 3 is quite long and tedious, so I am going to spare you most of it. So for level 3 we have an extra objective. We now have to pacify all of the guards on the map, of which there are 24. This can take quite a while. So for our final level we will be bringing with us multiple reusable melee weapons. I've opted for the fish and the claw hammer, which is my preferred favourite. So for level 3 we are going to stand up, select one of our melee weapons, and we are going to proceed to knock out all 24 of our guards before we move on to Orson. So starting once again with this guy by the big tree here. So with all of the guards now taken care of, we are free to render Orson unconscious, and then we will proceed to throw him off of the roof, and once that is done, we can then once again drag him over to the Weeping Angels. So we're just going to find his body down here on the mattress, drag him to the Weeping Angels, and at this point we will get our final objective, and that is to drag Orson into the exit closet with us. Now Orson is now over by the grave pit that is being dug in the main level, where we knocked out a couple of the guards earlier on. So we're just going to select our final melee weapon, make our way over towards the shack, and Orson is cowering in the grave, or the half dug grave should I say. So we're just going to get around behind him, keeping a nice distance, and we are going to, for the final time, render him unconscious, and then drag his unconscious body with us to the nearby closet. We're going to deposit him first of all and then step in afterwards. So this has been a extremely tedious escalation. One of the reasons why I don't really cover the escalations. The first level or two aren't too bad, but as you get to the final 3 levels or 5 levels, they do get somewhat ludicrous. So we have managed to achieve all of our optional objectives, and we have a Silent Assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.